Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nikia Whitaker-Woody, and I am the event coordinator for VA World Conference. And today we are going to be speaking with Miss Georgie-Ann Getton of
Yes.
GSD. of GSD. Thank you and welcome for being here. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, happy to. So hi everyone. My name is Georgie-Ann Getton and I'm the CEO and founder of GSD Solutions. And one of our primary services is virtual event production. But as a company, what we do is provide organizations with the tools and technologies necessary to bring together human capital and their software stack. So figuring out what type of tools that they need to ensure that their business is running in the digital world, and then the properly trained tech individuals to actually execute on that.
That is super cool. I love event coordination, as everyone knows. I'm not good at it, but I'm working on it. So it's glad that we have people like you in the industry that can help out those of us who are handicapped. So, are you an introvert or extrovert?
I would say I'm a self-identified extrovert. I'm very much a people person. I like to talk, I like to connect, I like to go out, interact, like I like to be in the world.
Oh, that's good. So, how has COVID really affected you?
COVID has affected me in like an interesting way. So I'm happy, and I'll say this, I'm happy I figured out how to be an extrovert and interact and connect and talk in the digital world before the pandemic happened. Because I had that mix. So about 2-3 years prior to the pandemic, I had my daughter, and when I had my daughter, my family and I, we moved upstate New York, and so we were about 2 hours, 2.5 hours away from family and friends. I had to start digitizing almost everything that I did. Like, tech and digital was part of my work, but I would still go to events and see people plan events, produce events, etc. And then when I had to go completely quote unquote online, I had to figure out, okay, how do I make this feel good? How do I network with people? How do I find people? How do I connect? How do I still be excited and interactive? And that's when I discovered virtual events, and how I could make virtual events more energetic. And that ended up becoming one of our premier services because of that kind of life need that happened earlier. But weirdly enough, as the last 12 months would show it, once I started going back to in-person events, being vaxxed up and all that stuff, I would get overwhelmed. So my first event in person was last year, June. It was an event in Miami, June or July, and it was an event in Miami. And maybe there was 30 to 40 people. And I was just like, this is exhausting. Why is there so many people here?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have my
So,
first networking event
yeah.
next week, and I'm a little nervous because for one, I've never met these people, but for two, it's a new organization, and I'm pitching a new business, so it's new, and I don't know the pitch yet, and so it's all like I'm so verklempt for real. Oh my God.
I hear it. Yeah. And it's just, I think energy is a very important thing. Like, I'm not gonna dive deep into it because I don't get that deep, but I definitely feel like it's the energy around it. During the pandemic, a lot of us were enclosed, and so whatever energy your children, your spouse, your partner, your household, or even if you lived alone, you're not circulating that energy, or the energy is different. And now we're coming back out, full grown adults. We're all excited. We're all like upset, or wanting to do more. And so it's just like that energy just like clashing together, you get exhausted so quickly. Yeah, so
Yeah. So I understand that you pivoted because you had your daughter. So congratulations on that, even though I know
thank
it was a
you.
while ago. Do you have any regrets, or is there anything that you wish you could have done sooner?
um I would say not directly towards the business, but this thing impacted the business greatly, was just building up my confidence, right? Building up my confidence in the sense of being able to charge more for my services, and acknowledging that people did need the service, right? A lot of folks, when I started doing virtual events, people were just like, people want in-person events, they want to connect, they want to do this and forth. And I'm like, yes, you're right, but I also think that there's space for this, and I would underprice a lot. So when it did come time to raise our prices, it was a little difficult because I didn't have that like pricing confidence. I'm one of those people, I want to do good work, right? I really want to make sure that things work well and people are having a great time, as well as making sure that it's affordable and inclusive. And so because of those both, carefulness as well as slight insecurities, I would undercharge for my services. And I'm giving like 110%. Like no matter what I do, I'm going above and beyond. But because of those personal things, I would be charging, pennies on the dollar. And often certain clients may devalue your work because of the fact that you're not charging enough, because they're like, okay, I got 10 proposals. This one's coming in at $1 and everybody else is coming at 20. And it's like, it's going to automatically look like you're not going to bring the value, but you may be the most valuable one in the deck, but you're just not being conscious of your own pricing model because of your confidence level.
So how do you work on that?
It's consistent and every day. Like I have to kind of like, affirm myself, like, you are valuable, you're doing great work, as well as I like to see data. I'm a very data focused like nerd. So I want to see the numbers, like show me the numbers, show me the proof, right? What's the explanation behind it? So I keep this running log of like, accomplishments that I've had, whether it's like personal goals that I've hit or professional goals that I've hit, or features or speaking opportunities, or business goals, to say, and it's not nothing like I go flaunt around like, hey, here's my role, this is my success log, but it's for me to go back in when I'm feeling afraid or insecure, and I'm like, girl, do you see this? We are 7 pages in this spreadsheet. What are you talking about? Like, hello, like,
Yes.
let them know.
Yes. I have a question because I know that I am dealing with this right now. I have a passion for mental health advocacy, and I feel like people seek me out to be their assistant for that reason. Love to do it, don't mind to do it, but how do you balance the wanting to be good at something and charging them because you are good at something?
Yeah, I think it comes down to boundaries. So last year, I dove into studying boundaries heavily, right? And that confidence stuff is also tied back to boundaries and habits as well. And I think as women, right, naturally we're almost raised in the aspect of give, 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 and you may get something back in return, but don't expect it. And so because of that, we naturally minimize ourselves and, just want to make sure everybody else and everything else around us is good, because we're like, I'll come back from this. I'll be fine. I'll turn crumbs into a pie any day. And so what we have to do is set those boundaries, right? Look at figure to ourselves, say, what do I want out of this? What would make me feel good, that truly and honestly gives me the state of mind that I need to work on this, the financial support that I need to work on this, and feel good inside and out. Because when you're feeling good inside and out, you're able to pour even more into the cups of others, because now your cup is overflowing versus trying to skim and give a little bit here and a little bit there because you only have half a cup. If your cup is overflowing, you could pour into 10 cups, you could pour into 20 cups, and your cup is still full because you feel healthy, you feel solid. So building those boundaries, whether it's you're taking back some of your time or saying, in order for me, you want me at my 100%, you want me at my 110, it's going to look like X amount of dollars, right? Could I do it at $50 an hour or $50 a day? Absolutely. What would that look like? You're not going to get the best me. You're not going to get the best results, and you're going to get angry. I'm going to get angry. We're all going to be angry. Why? When we could, at this rate, at this time frame, right? I'm working these hours of the day. Do not text me after hours. If you want me to be at my best, I need my rest. I need to go watch my Netflix after work, and I need to go be in bed by 10 o'clock. And I'm gonna come back to you at tomorrow, 10 a.m., 9 a.m. That's the boundaries that have to be set. If I'm up till 2 a.m., I can't call you back at 9 because I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna be asleep, and I'm gonna be agitated, and I'll stop there.
Yeah. As new business owners, I think we all run into we want to be helpful. We all want to help a nonprofit, and then they're like, "Well, nonprofits don't have no money." So I definitely understand that, but I'm definitely struggling with I want to be helpful, but I kind of need to be paid for this. So, what is your dream client?
Yeah, my dream client is definitely a business owner that is currently scaling their business to be identified as like, small, medium-sized business. And, they have traction, they have customers coming in, and they're in that spot where they know they're ready to grow and they're willing to invest in growing. And investments don't have to be financial. It could be, they're worthy to invest the resources. So it could be time, energy, or financial to take it to that next level. They've really realized they've hit the top of what they can do by themselves, and now they know that they need the support. And so we come in, set up those systems, amplify those systems, optimize those systems for them. And to me, that's just such a fun stage, right? Before that, like you said, they don't have the capital to really make all the solid decisions that they want. And again, this is not, you got to be $1 million company. Like as you get into scale of whatever scale looks like to you, then it's like, oh, this is fun, right? You're going into this new phase. There's a lot of things to learn on a personal and a professional level. There's a lot of systems that you have to, move into. So it's almost like that business is no longer a baby. Now they're like starting high school or they're starting college. Like that stage is like, oh, we could talk about the things that or PG-13, we're relating it back to that child example versus like kind of being too soft or being too baby. We could push it in a certain way. We could bring out certain emotions and feelings and questions that, you may not have the answers to if you're too small, or you may have answered 1,000 times if you're too big. So I like that. Or we growing together phase.
I can't wait until we can grow together. I have we bought the Run the World software, and now we bought another software with a lifetime license, and I can't wait to outgrow that one. So I'm totally on board for what you're saying. Can't wait till we can collaborate together. What is one piece of advice that you would give to someone starting out in their career, whether it be tech or just virtual?
Yeah, one piece of advice I would say is to slow down, right? A lot of us, especially when we're trying to do go work, we move really fast. And not only fast in completing the work for the clients, but fast in, feeling like we need to do all these things all the time. There is time, right? You just have to space it out. So if you want to take a nap or a vacation or have a meal, like eat your lunch, slow down. You can have lunch today. You don't have to, yes, the deadline's coming up, but if you're not properly rested, if you're not pacing yourself, you will become burnt out, and a burnt out version of you is going to give negative results versus a well-rested, a well-fed, a physically, mentally, emotionally stable version of you is going to do so much better than the burnt out version of you. And, don't let anyone tell you, you got to work and no sleep. Like there are days that you're going to have to stay up, but that should not be the norm. That's the better way to put it. That should not be the norm. Slow down and pace yourself at your own rate, right? Don't let social media fool you.
That is true. Okay, so what is one thing in your business that you didn't expect?
One thing in my business that I did not expect. Okay, I will say this, right? The mental as well as emotional toll that it would take moving from being a freelancer, so a smaller business, to a CEO with running a bigger agency. Because I use the title CEO, but it was just me. I'm in chief executive officer in charge of me, myself, and I. Right, that's one thing. But being a CEO and in charge of other people on your team, scaling up, growing your team, there's a lot more pressure involved, right? You're responsible for somebody's salary, right? You're responsible for making sure that a client doesn't treat your employee, your team member, in a negative manner. They have respect for them, that systems and processes are in place. So I would definitely say the mental and emotional toll that it took to realize, like, you can delegate, you can have support, like all of that I did not expect. Like because I didn't even know it was a shift. Like I'm just like, oh, business growth, but I didn't know that happened when you grow.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I feel like I want to do it all because I love doing it. And so it's like, am I ever gonna say, hey, can you help me? I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't know. I think I like the control of it too. Because if I get it done, it's done the way I like it. It's done the way I want it. And I don't have to be like, well, did you do that? Did you do that? Did you do that? So that's me.
Yeah.
How do you?
It comes with its own beast.
I know. How do you practice self-care?
So my self-care practice and how do I practice self-care is what I mentioned a little bit earlier, setting those boundaries, putting better habits in place. So, for example, I started to go to the gym. I go to the gym every weekday, or work out. Sometimes I can't make it to the gym, whether I have meetings or whatever. I'll make sure I work out at home. YouTube has all the videos, guys. Make sure you're watching them. You have access to things, as well as I take the time that's necessary, right? Before I would try to do so many things so fast. Now I'm like, okay, if I think something's gonna take me 30 minutes, I slot out 2 hours for it. Because if, things going wrong at the beginning, middle, and end, and then I have children, I'm just like, things will go crazy real fast. And then that brings up my anxiety levels. And now I can't be my best self for that thing. So I'm just like, okay, if it's gonna take me 30 minutes, if I could allot 2 hours, let's do that. More time than it's better to have more time and not need it than less time and be stuck or, feel overstressed. I started getting more massages, as well as like just a little thing like doing my hair, getting my nails done, a lot of that more often, just to feel good and be taken care of a little bit. As well as, I read a lot. So I'll read audiobooks, physical books, and that definitely just like takes my mind away, as well as writing. So those are some of the ways I practice self-care, just, really being patient with myself and honoring my boundaries, and then getting back my time to go to the gym, work out, eat healthier, and read.
Okay. So how are you finding work-life balance? Because I am having a hard time with that.
Yeah, delegation, honestly. So you said you are thinking about like, growing the team. Do you want to do that? I have 2 kids, and the only way I was gonna ever be able to do that was by delegating. So I had to take some things off my plate. And delegation for me looks like 2 different things. So the first way I delegate is by automating stuff. So if there are emails I can automate, if there's social media posts, getting Instacart delivered, different apps, things like that, having somebody come in and clean, like a lot of these different services. And then the second thing I do is outsource. So whether it's outsourcing tasks to my team members, hey, you from marketing department, can you, this actually, you could do this, you should be able to do this, or training a person and then passing off tasks. Because realistically, I have 5 hours a day to work.
Wow.
5. And that sounds like madness, or like maybe some people might say that sounds like madness, and other people might say, wow, that's the life. And
that is the life.
And it really, no, here's what, like, it's really because like between the time, I'm a single mom, I recently got divorced. And so by the time I drop my kids off at to school, go to the gym, even as little as 45 minutes or 30 minutes in the gym, by the time I get home and, fresh, get ready and everything, it's 10 a.m. So I start work at 10 to 3.
Yeah.
Then 3 o'clock, I gotta wind down, get the kids, dinner, homework, bedtime, read. And so in other times of the day, as I might sneak some time, like minutes, maybe send an email on my phone, or wake up after bedtime and edit some videos on the computer. But that's like time that I'm sneaking. But the dedicated time that I have is 10 to 3. So it's like, how much can I truly fit from 10 a.m. to 3 a.m.? And I have to move things off my plate, so that way the most important things, so like sales, marketing, contracts, like the top level stuff, that's what I focus on. Trainings, recording, production, meetings with clients, like I have to fit all of that in that time. Otherwise, if it's beyond those hours, there's a risk of my kid yelling in the background, somebody's not feeling well, danger happening, like the risks are higher. And that, so it's just, it's a tedious thing to balance.
Yeah, I think that, that was what I was thinking too. But my kids are grown, so I don't have that issue. But I do have I am at work from 6:30 to 3, and then I work on my business and do all the other stuff. So yeah, I can definitely understand the delegation. I meal plan. I prep my food ahead of time, put it in the freezer, and just be like, "This is what we're having for dinner tonight. Y'all can heat it up." So definitely. Planning ahead is what makes me be able to do what I do all day in here, so that they still run out there. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's a constant, changing as pieces of your life evolve. You're gonna have to like edit that, work life, and I don't even like to call it balance. It's synergy, because sometimes work is gonna take up more time. Certain seasons, like right now, it's like conference season or interview season and meeting season. So I let my kids know, like, listen, it's busy seasons for mommy. Like, wintertime, it slows down. Some parts of the summertime, it slows down. And then family life takes on more of a toll. They have winter break, summer break, etc. But, each season. So right now it's maybe like 70-30. And then as it shifts, 70 is going to, and it'll keep on ebbs and flow.
Yeah. Okay. So I do run a conference. So you feel like this time is busy season? Because we moved the conference from June to September because we felt like everybody was vacationing.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The way I've kind of looked at it is that there's 2 conference seasons. So the first is, I call it spring conference season, and then there's fall conference season. Okay. Fall conference season, end of September to like early November. Like the last thing is like the November 10th. After that, people are out, like winter break, that's it. Then so that's the busier one. So that's like
Okay.
prime time conference season. Then the second conference season is the springtime. So that's when you're thinking of like college fairs, PIS competitions, expos. That usually happens from like there's like sprinkles of it in February, but the real heaviness hits like the second week of March till about mid-May. And then right after Memorial Day, again, silence until the fall conferences. You know, people do some events in the summer, but realistically, that's like the slower season. So March to May, September to early November conference season.
That's interesting. Yeah. I might want to move my conference now. I might, put it in the middle. So, if you're on vacation, you can visit us. And if you're at home, you can do virtual, make it easy for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is all I have for you today. I'm super, super appreciative that you came to talk to me. And I do hope that we get to work together really, really soon. So thank you for doing this with me.
Absolutely. Love sharing my story and just helping any way I can.
Okay. Thank you really, really much. I'm going to stop recording.